Well, my name is Francisco Perrin. I am the editor of Dr. Mayer, a book my wife, Erin Jordan Perrin, wrote about her father. I'm a ex-corporate IT professional, sort of worked in that industry my whole life, and have decided to help my wife with this effort, and so I'm not an editor by trade, and we're starting this process from scratch, not knowing the book industry or anything about it. I think my biggest skepticism going into the process, trying to find a self-publishing partner, was execution and sort of cost of investment. And so really looking at how much this is to the average consumer trying to self-publish, also for my own pocketbook, looking at it personally, and then looking at the deliverables and saying, is it worth it? And will the deliverables manifest? Not knowing the organization, reading reviews, it's a long process to wait. So a relatively big amount of money to spend for the average person, where the results, can take time to come. And so it kind of puts you in a different type of buyer's mindset that I don't think people usually are in. I would say now, if I knew then, I would have no doubt. I think a lot of that comes to just the longevity of the organization. If you maybe are dealing with bigger brands, people can just sort of put their faith in the brand name, that it's going to exist throughout the course of maybe 1 or 2 years, that it's going to take a public, an author to do this. So for a new brand in a smaller publisher, self-publishing house, it just reinforces the persistence and the professionalism of the publishing house you're building, and there's no hesitation. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised at multiple points along the journey that after 6 months you were still there, ready to pick up the ball and do the next step. So there are many times I thought the fruit had died on the vine, and I reach across, and then the editors on your side are still there saying, "Yep, we're ready." So that was always quite surprising. I'd say the first special moment comes when you get proofs of the cover, and you see the pictures and you see the title, like as mundane as that is just the cover. There's something about seeing, don't judge a book by the cover. So maybe when you're writing the book, it's not until you see the cover that something happens. So I would say that's the big one. It's a real book. Actually, it's not even that exciting once you're going through the drafts and the typeset versions. The cover, the first view of the cover is impactful. Then the second one is when you get it in your hand, to your point. So there's sort of two big milestones: when you see it and then when you touch it. Well, I did it a couple stage, try to do it myself. And I think there's an attention to detail that would have been missed. I think there are plenty of software as a service solutions out there that will create an EPUB format for you. It's easy enough to copy and paste or upload a Word manuscript and get a book into an EPUB format. But I think what I hadn't appreciated before this process is it's like an iceberg. The content that you're pasting into an EPUB template and creating a publication is the tip of the iceberg. Under the iceberg, the waterline, is a huge mass of detail and error checking and coherent checking that creates a lot of change to the document that you would have never even thought you needed to do. And so that's the most surprising thing, is like you could do it yourself, and I would have, you can get it and put it, and it'll be in the Amazon, marketplace. but the quality wouldn't have been there. And that's what you see in the process, and that's what I would have missed if I did it myself. I would say if you're serious about publishing a book, and it's more than just a checking the box thing that you want to do, and you're serious about producing something of quality, and you're willing to invest, a conventionally reasonable amount of money, but more than money, time. It's 100% better to do it with a guide and a services like Global Book Publishing provides. It's just less mistakes, less error prone. It's a solo experience on your own, and it's like going to the gym with a friend. Sometimes you need a friend to keep you motivated. It takes a long time to write a book and to go through the process. Even if you come to the table with the book written, the journey still is just beginning. And you need a friend that goes to the gym with you and says, like, keep it up. You can go to the gym every day by yourself, but sometimes it's easier if you have the influence of somebody who's also pulling with you. And so that's the other part of, I think, going into choosing to use a service like Global Book Publishing, because you're going to have a gym partner and somebody who will be there for the 1 to 2 year journey that it could possibly take.